Hey guys, it's Seth and Paul for Learn From Us podcast. On today's show, we have Lucas Tindell. His show, Lucas Live, is absolutely slaying on LinkedIn. Lucas comes in and talks to us about how building a show, connecting with people, being a businessman, and just his fire and spirit has been incredible. So
it's incredible.
Right?
Thank you, guys.
You're awesome, man. Join us on the Learn From Us podcast.
Canton in the house.
Right meow. Right meow, baby. Yeah. Welcome to the show, Paul.
Hi, Seth.
5 minutes ago, you said, who's this guy we're having on today?
Yeah.
And damn it, I'll tell you who. This is Lucas Tindell from Canton. You're originally from Canton?
I'm from Canton, Ohio. Yes, sir.
Where'd you go to high school?
I went to Canton McKinley High School.
Did
the
you?
Great Canton McKinley High School. Yes, sir.
I'm from Canton.
Really?
1990 on, I lived in Canton. I went to Walsh Jesuit, though, with this schmucko.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
I had Lucas on because I've been hitting LinkedIn for the past year, Paul, as you know, under your
tutelage
and guidance.
I thought he was going to say under your page, under your name and face. Okay. I was like, oh, that's weird.
Oh, that's funny.
Okay, sorry.
But no, like for me, the last decade, LinkedIn has been this weird sort of what the hell is this?
I still think LinkedIn's a little weird, but maybe Lucas will shed some light.
I can enlighten you guys.
That's why we're having him on, because on my feed, I've been more active. I see the Lucas Tindell's going live. He's going live again today. He has this guest on, and I said, I messaged him. I don't even know what the hell you're doing, but I have to talk to you because the drive and passion you have.
Those were his literal words, by the way.
That's right. So, Lucas, give us a little introduction. The listeners at home, the watchers on YouTube, give us a little introduction of who you are and why you're on our show, which you may not know yet.
Yeah. Say, what if he doesn't know
why am I on the show? I have no idea. I don't even know these people. I literally just drove up here and I was like, I text my wife like, you have my location.
Yeah, sure. Location.
I've never met these guys in my life. True
Go
story.
But tell us about yourself.
Seth reached out to me on through LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
I started a show about 2 months ago on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, and Periscope, where I go live.
Periscope.
Why not?
Man, flash in the past.
Why not blast it out there, right?
I hear you.
It's like if I can be on more channels and my show, I went on NBC, but they're going to put it on PBS, put it on PBS. I mean, hey, there's somebody watching on PBS.
Paul's an avid late night PBS watcher.
Love PBS.
So do I.
Just kidding.
It has great content, right?
Go ahead.
Everybody watches it every day, right? So I wanted to put it out multiple places. I literally hit go live. My mom sadly passed away March 26th of this year of breast cancer in the Cleveland Clinic, right at the top of right as the coronavirus locked everybody out of the hospital. So sadly, my mom spent her last week alone. My father and I were able to go up there literally for her last 20 minutes of life, and it was tough. Coming out of that situation, it wakes you up. My mom always told me, you're never grown until you lose a parent. She's like, it changes you. And so I was like, the next week, I'm like, I got to do something to like honor her, to be more me. The world doesn't even know the person she's raised. I'm going to go live. I'm going to start a show.
Just like that.
Just like that. My show looked, first episode, this was just a couple months ago. It's just me, probably like 4 people. I'm like, it's me. It's going to be a show. I don't even know what it's called yet. Hope you guys watch it. That's what it was. Weeks later, it starts to get better. I start reaching out to people saying, hey, we want to be a guest? They're like, yeah. And within a month, people started reaching out to me to be guests on my show. I'm booked through June. I'm about to start a morning show because I have so many people I've connected to and who have connected to me. I can't even keep up with the guests. And I've gone live at least 5 days a week since then, honoring my mom, focused on education, motivation, liberation. It's called Lucas Live. It's a lot of fun.
Did you hear all that?
Yeah, I did. How many people watch it whenever you go live?
That's a great question. Well, it varies, obviously. Sometimes in the moment, I'd say my largest audience it's sitting there at one time was near 100 people at the same time.
In
right?
2 months, huh?
In 2 months. And I've gotten off a broadcast and already on Facebook had 1,000 views when the thing went off. That at least 1,000 people came in and out just on Facebook. And then YouTube is having views. And it's just 2 months. I mean, it's just me starting something.
So what do you do for income?
Well, I'm looking at monetizing my show. I am what I was doing before the coronavirus went crazy was I worked as a corporate trainer and I did consulting for years.
Corporate trainer, like
physical train? No, like leadership development.
Oh, okay.
Help get your leaders together.
He's pretty jacked, Paul. I don't want to mess with this guy.
I did go back to the gym when it opened.
We haven't yet. Have you? Oh, you got a gym here.
Kidding? I was working out even during the thing. Who are you talking to, bro?
You know.
Is there a gym here? I'm moving in.
I have gained a little weight, though.
Oh yeah, I haven't.
We'll talk about that later.
Go ahead, Lucas. I didn't cut you off
Corona
there.
weight. It's all
Corona
good.
weight. It's like freshman 15,
It
Corona
is.
15.
Yeah, what were you doing before this?
Yeah, it's terrible. So before this, I was working for a company. So my career started working with kids and families. I spent.
Oh, Paul, you're gonna love this story. Keep going.
He loves kids and families. 16 years working with kids and families in the inner city community of Canton. Loved it. Loved serving the Canton community. I started it as a young child who was raised in inner city and life was crazy. We needed a little more money to help with the family. We all needed to provide a little bit, help out a little bit. So my sister and I both got jobs there. Loved it. Worked my way up, became administrator at 23, executive director of 3 facilities by 25, 26 in Canton and Akron, Ohio. Learned business. I learned business. I love business. Learned it early. And although it was early childhood in a child care center and kids 6 weeks to 12 years, the owner was a business person. So I had an apprenticeship under somebody who he didn't necessarily know anything about childcare. He knew business, and I learned business under a businessman. I'm grateful for that. After that, consulting, leadership development, traveling, going to many different companies.
And how would you get those gigs?
Those gigs were through the company that I worked for at the time, a company called SciTrain out of Canton, Ohio. Shout out to SciTrain.
You heard of him?
No.
Check it out. You got to check it out. It's an amazing company. They do leadership development simulations. So rather than just standing, we did training. I did a lot of standing training in front of people, but we did simulations where we'd sit at a table like this, and we'd give you a script based, not a script, but we'd give you a scenario. You're the business leader. This is the situation, but you're going to play you, and I'm going to play your jerk employee, and we got to see how you deal with me. Or I'm going to play the governor of the state, and you're a health plan CEO, and you deal with governors of states and things like this. And I'm going to be difficult, and we're going to see how you deal. They rated you, scored you, and helped you with that. It was a super cool job. So did that. Then I got recruited to a healthcare management company, doing corporate training, a lot of fun. They downsized. I was laid off, and I said, I just got to do my own thing. So my company, Tindell Training, which I already had but wasn't doing anything with, I started reaching out to people through LinkedIn to get gigs to do leadership development training and coaching for other companies, and it started moving and was doing
So how many
well.
people were you reaching out to every week?
Through LinkedIn? I would say at least 10 a day, at least.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah, I'd
Oh,
say
good
10
for
a day.
you.
Very strategic.
He's been guiding me for the past couple of years about reaching out, cold calling. Paul, you've been proud of me. I made 20 cold calls just yesterday alone.
Wow.
And that's a whole nother story. But so I was hesitant and at the beginning, but under Paul's tutelage.
You got to have tutelage.
Yes, of course. You should see his toodles.
Toodles are amazing.
Yeah, but
you rub them sometimes.
So keep going about
is getting
LinkedIn. So,
awkward.
you and your wife have written a couple books, or
Yeah. Yes. So also 2015, my wife started writing a book. She literally had this dream. I'm going to write these 2 characters. It's this love story. And I'm like, cool. I'm thinking I don't even know how you write a book. You don't have a publisher. You've never written a book before. And, but
why does that matter?
Because
I wonder the same things.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't?
No, you just start writing.
Absolutely. You are
You
absolutely
just
right.
start writing. Why do you worry about the stupid details at the end? You start writing. Go ahead.
Lucas, I'll bring this up because
I agree.
So the premise of this show was a brainchild of us sitting down and Paul talking about our sort of hashtag is B2Y, and Paul, tell him about the B2Y, damn it.
So I always tell people, everybody's so focused on A to Z.
Mm-hmm.
They're focused on the start and the end. It's like, guys, those are, I get it. The start's very important, but then people, analysis by paralysis, they don't do it, or paralysis by analysis. They don't start. They don't worry because they're too worried about Z and A. And I'm like, no, what matters is B to Y. Getting A done, then B done, then C done, then E done. Did I skip letters? Probably. The whole point is, I just look at people and say, just fucking get started.
Right.
Don't worry about everything else. Get started. And then, I have people upstairs even like, well, Paul, we got to make sure, shut up. Just get started. I'm not saying go do something that's going to ruin your life. When I say get started, if you want to go invest in a 100-unit property in real estate, don't just go buy the next one you see. No.
Right.
Get started. Go look what's available.
Yeah.
Anyway, so when you say write a book, the last thing you need to worry about is who your publisher is. Start writing the book and then say, okay, I'm done today. I'm going to go see what I need to do for publishing.
You wrote a book as well, right?
I did. I 100% agree. People, and we're living in a different day and age where you don't need who's producing this show? I mean, we're here, we're doing it, right? I don't know.
By the way, who is producing this show?
I mean,
Somebody's back there.
somebody's producing this show. No, but I mean, you can produce it in a place like this. There's not a million people running around.
Yeah.
You're here on camera and you're running the thing. So things have changed, but our minds haven't changed. So my new motto is there are no rules. So there are no rules. There's no. You don't need a producer. You don't need a publisher to write a book. You don't need a record label to put out a record. You don't. It's all gone. But we're still stuck in that mindset. So
I suffer from this a lot, actually. So when someone says
Everyone does.
If I wanted to have it write a book, I'd go the same way. How do you do this? It's just too difficult.
You know how you do
to
it?
Contemplate.
Open Microsoft Word. Start
I use
chapter
Google
1.
Docs.
Google Docs. Chapter 1, and you just start writing.
Yeah.
Jesus, I wrote a book. We didn't end up publishing it because I was just like, yeah, I don't want to publish this thing. But it got to
Is that the end of
40,000.
it?
Yeah, 40,000 words. I was
thought
just
you were
like
all proud of it.
I was proud of it, but I felt like it's a little premature. And for what I was
Well,
writing,
you struggle with that, I know. So.
for what I was writing, it was, I thought, a little pretentious and a little arrogant to write this book.
You're
And I was-
kidding. By the way, subscribe below if you want to see more of
Yes,
this.
subscribe if you want to see more pretentiousness and arrogance from me.
Subscribe below.
it's there. Plenty of videos.
That's funny.
That's cool.
So yeah, you were saying with me on the phone. I think after you've had this life of corporate training, and you kind of lost a lot of it, right? This is, and I think you're humble enough to say, I guess. We had a phone conversation. You were humble enough to say, you know what, this was sort of one of my last resorts, and I'm going for it. Yep. And I was just astonished by your drive to continue this to go. I mean, I was hoping to have you on as a little bit of an inspiration to obviously our viewers and myself, because we're on a podcast, Paul, that in October will be 2 years, and we're trying to build as well. And at times we've had multiple conversations about like, well, why are we doing this? I've literally had friends like, why would you do a podcast that gets 17 views? And luckily,
first off, tell your friends to fuck off.
That was years ago. that was a year ago. But yeah, you got to start.
But you know what's funny? I was looking at our YouTube yesterday, and I was looking at Don, just going, Don, we used to be excited about 10 views on YouTube, and now like a shitty one's 100 views. You know what I mean? It's not huge. We're not doing it at the level we should be doing it. A lot of that's on me because I don't do the self-promotion crap. I don't do that stuff. Like I'm not good. I shouldn't say crap. I just am terrible at that. Like I can't look at a camera and go, hi.
Please watch my show.
Please watch my show. But, we look at it, but I know that we love doing this.
Right.
Seth does a great job with being a host, so let's just keep doing it, and eventually we'll find our voice in a way, and which, by the way, I'm back on I want to change the name of the podcast, by the way.
You're back? Okay.
Yeah. Did Don talk to you about that?
No, we'll get to it.
Moving on.
Tell me about what's been working for you on LinkedIn.
First of all, I see LinkedIn as, from a business perspective, LinkedIn is the golf course. LinkedIn is the boardroom. I can get into places that I normally wouldn't be able to get into. I'm a young black man. And there's places that maybe may not want to let me into immediately. I don't know. Who knows, right? So
you had trouble with Paul's security at the door.
I did. Remember, it was like
I actually walked in and said, "Who is this guy?
What is he doing?"
Too soon, Paul.
Too soon, gentlemen. It's all good.
Keep going.
By the way, downtown. For those of you who are watching this, it's probably 3 weeks after. Who knows what's happened since then? But every major city is shut down now because of these
protesting.
And so
and
hopefully in 2 weeks we're not like delete this episode.
I know, right. That was too much, too soon.
The too soon joke was too soon.
Just delete it. We'll just edit it out.
Keep going.
So LinkedIn. So I what I found was I was able to have conversations and get closer to people that I never would have anyway, right? Regardless of whether not that they would not have allowed me in because of my race. I don't believe that's, and I think it's a problem in our country, but I don't think it's a barrier that's there, you can't get past, and that most people are thinking that. I don't.
That's a very positive thing, but go ahead. Yeah, it's very positive.
I think I mean, I've had opportunities myself, and I think it's possible to be successful for anybody in our country, regardless of the madness. But anyway, whole nother story. But so I started reaching out to people and saying, I started doing actually at my job for SideTrain, I started reaching out to people to get us into those businesses to do more corporate training and do these leadership development simulations. And we were trying to get into like Google and Apple and crazy companies. And I'm like, we can. Our product is good enough to get into some of these companies. But I'm like, we don't know anybody. So I was like, I have to get to know people. So I created a strategy, which I guess I could share here today. It's really worth a lot of money, but I guess I'll share it here today. I call it the Spider-Man strategy. I start at the bottom of the company and I connect with anybody who's on there, and no disrespect to these levels. I'm not saying these people are better, obviously.
Oh boy.
But the head of maybe the maintenance director, right? He happens to be on LinkedIn. And I connect with the maintenance director. I'm like, I love Apple. I don't know what company it is. I love that company. Super cool that you work there. I don't know what your life is like there, but I'd love to become a part of your professional network. Boom. He's like, cool. Connects with me. Then I see he's connected to a secretary somewhere in the company, and then an HR person somewhere in the company, and somebody. So I just work my way up until by the time I get to the person, the decision maker, I look like I'm friends with all their friends. And I'm like, I know, blah, 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 name all these people. I'm connected to all these people. Love to connect with you. They're like, guess so. Connect. Well, now that we're connected, I can spam you. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't do that. Now I can attack you with all of my sales pitches. No, now I can.
That is a
have
problem on
conversation.
LinkedIn.
It is a growing problem, and I want to tell people stop. Build a relationship. For instance, the head of the now CEO of T-Mobile, who is from Canton. I never met him in my life. Yes, T-Mobile and Sprint are merging. He's from Canton. Never met him in my life. Reached out to him on LinkedIn. I had enough connect, and I said, "Hey, we're both from the same city. Love to connect." He and I have literally had conversations on LinkedIn, several times, like back and forth.
How old's he?
50s, maybe.
Wow, that's
that would be my guess. To be my guess, you know. But anyway, to me, you can get to anybody. So when I started doing my own business, I'm like, okay, well, who do I want to connect to? I decided I was getting so high up in companies until people sometimes were having to push me down. Like, well, yeah, I really love you, but I'm not the decision maker, and I don't want to look like I snuck you in the back door. So talk to these people, and when they get back to me, you're good. But it was just the power of LinkedIn, just working relationships.
So how many connections do you have on LinkedIn?
Thousands.
I have 6,500. And it all started from literally, one intern saying, "Paul, let me grow your LinkedIn connections." I go, "Fine." He went from 500 to 1,200. And since then, it just people add me every single day. Like I get 3, 4, 5 ads a day just from people just going click. But the problem is, "Hey, Paul, I'm so impressed with what you're doing at blah, 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 blah. I can save you blah." I'm just like, all you did was cut and copy. I'm like, you don't know anything about my business. Like, you know nothing about my business. Like,
right.
And so sometimes I just respond back like very sarcastically. Like, somebody wrote recently something and he goes, wouldn't that be life-changing if I was able to save you 80% of your costs? And I wrote back, no, it would not.
Impossible.
No, I just wrote, no, it would not. Right. Of course it's life-changing. And of course it's impossible. But I'm looking and going, like, you did literally zero effort to try to reach out to me. At least just sit there and say, like, "Hey, Paul, like, I get so many people who add me. I was like, "Hey, Paul, I help realtors get leads." I'm like, "Sweet, then why are you reaching out to me?" Because I'm not a realtor. Right. You know what I mean? It's like just all it takes is 4 seconds on my profile to see I'm not a realtor.
Right.
Anyhow, that's my pet peeve with LinkedIn.
I fully agree, and that's why I don't do that. I build relationships.
But how do you build a relationship?
This is one of my questions because I need to reach out and connect to people. I'm trying to sell a product. I know the role is not to ask. You have to give something, but they don't care about me. They don't know anything about me. So I'm struggling with some of these NASCAR teams, or I sell a different product. I don't know if I told you about it, but like for example, I'm trying to get into Summit Racing up in Akron because I sell a product that belongs in Summit Racing.
I can get to somebody.
You know some people.
I feel like I can get to anybody. I really can. Anyway, go ahead.
That's a great feeling to have because, but the initial once I connect with someone, I can see that like the head buyer there like looked at my profile. And so I follow up, but like, I don't know what I can give to someone who, you know what I mean?
Let me buy you lunch.
Is it really that much?
What do you mean that much?
I mean, like, is it that easy?
If somebody offered me I always tell people, you want to pitch me something? Buy me a free lunch. I'm going to eat lunch anyhow. I might as well sit there and you're going to pay for it. And I'm going to listen to your pitch. And if it's great, great. If it's not, I just had a good lunch. That's the way I view it.
I like it.
I need to do that.
And the funny part is nobody offers me free lunches ever. I'm like, just buy me a free. I tell everybody, buy me a free. I have to eat lunch. Buy me lunch, and I will listen to you.
That's insightful though, because it's again we have all these fake rules in our head, such as you make more money than me. Why would I buy you lunch? How is that valuable to you? That is nothing to you. So your time is more valuable. So I assume you wouldn't trade it.
Valid point. But as I said before, I have to eat lunch.
I love it.
It's if you said to me, "Paul, I want to meet with you at 10 o'clock," and I'm like, "Well, I'm doing something at 10 o'clock. I'm doing something that is valuable to me. Eating lunch, I'm playing chess and doing my Spanish at lunch. All right, I'll listen to you pitch. And by the way, I'm a pretty low maintenance guy. Buy me Chipotle, bring it to my office, put it in front of me. I'll listen to you for 15, 20 minutes. If I like it, great. If I don't, that's no skin off my teeth.
What's been working for you after this Spider-Man connection?
It is research. Spend some time getting to know the person you really want to connect with, especially that person, right? The decision makers. Know something about them. Sometimes the way I connect to people is when I see someone in the news, I assume I can connect to them. Mike Seifert is soon to be, this is what it was, like this guy is soon going to take over as the CEO of T-Mobile, as T-Mobile and Sprint merge, blah, blah, blah. He's from Canton, Ohio. I'm like, let me find out a little bit more about him. He's from Canton, found out some stuff. So when I go to you, I'm talking about you. Everybody likes to hear about themselves, right? I think everybody likes to know that someone took a little time. This lady was the head of HR at Netflix or something, and I wanted us to get into Netflix. I took some time, Google them, looked up some stuff. I read through her profile. I look at what university they went to. I'm like, oh, you went to OU. I didn't go to OU, but I have a lot of friends that went to OU. So I heard it's a really great school.
Did you say, oh, you didn't get into Miami?
I didn't say that.
I've never heard that before.
You haven't heard that before?
Oh, you didn't get in Miami?
Oh, you didn't get in Miami?
Keep going. Keep going.
So taking a little time, and it doesn't take forever. We have the internet. Find out something about them. And not to be sleazy, like I found out something about this girl, so I'm going to say it to her real quick. Like, I know you love pink shoes. It's like, seriously, I know you love pink shoes. Like, I mean, I know that matters to you. Like,
I know you like black lace underwear. What?
What? Moving too far,
It's more
too
of an
fast.
Instagram DM, isn't it?
Sliding in the DMs kind of thing. So yeah, it's the thought that I know I'm going up against a bunch of salesy people who are sliding in just saying nonsense, and I'm going to say something meaningful to you because I really mean it. Can I make sure I mean it?
Can I tell you what worked for me a few years ago? Short and sweet. I sent 970 emails to random travel agents for something I needed. Literally, it was 2 lines. I got 73 responses. 70
out of how many?
907, 900 something. Nobody knew me. I literally cut and copied them from a website, and I just said, "Hi, I came across. I have a house in Mexico. I'm looking at blah 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 blah, and I want to talk to you about listing the house." 73 responses. So ready? Here are these emails. This is an email from LinkedIn. Look at this guy. This is the one I wrote.
It's too much.
Oh no. Oh, this is the one I wrote. Please, I have a major objection to that. Look at this. It's so long. Hey, Paul, we connected. I messaged you a little while ago on how to take advantage of tax breaks to increase the value of your company while also improving your employee benefits.
Who are these guys?
They just all add me, and then I'm called a LinkedIn whore. I am a LinkedIn whore. Like, literally, I don't reject anybody. I've only rejected one person ever.
I don't. If you're in sales, especially, or you're trying to pitch something, to me, I don't deny anyone else because it's based on the idea of 6 degrees of separation. So I don't know, because you're chasing everybody in the world, you're probably connected to somebody I need to connect with. So you're coming for me, but I'm actually going to use you to get to where I want to go.
Of course.
So I'm like, cool, we can connect. I probably may not do what you want me to do, but since you're out here going crazy, you're bringing me closer to the people who I need to get connected to. So
How'd you get the gusto to go live on LinkedIn and just start rocking that?
Well, my wife and I went live on Periscope in 2015 when we wrote our books. We found one of our friends, shout out to Ebony Hill. She told us about Periscope, and she was like, it's this new thing. I don't know. It's like live. It's like Twitter owns it or something, or they're buying it. I don't know what it was at the time. And you can go live, and there's like a community of people that like follow people. So we're like, let's try it. Now I'm the talker. My wife's she's quiet, she's shy, but she's brilliant at the same time. So we started going live. We built a community. We had people on from around the world. Like somebody was from Australia. Like, I wake up at 2 a.m. to watch you guys. We're like, what? This is crazy. So we started doing that, and we did that for a little while. And then we kind of faded away from that. So then recently when I decided to go live again, I had learned about other apps like StreamYard, Ecamm Live, because LinkedIn doesn't have a native live platform. There's no go live on LinkedIn without a third party. So I had researched it because I was trying to get the access to be a LinkedIn Live beta tester, which I was able to get. So when I went live on Facebook, people were like, how are you putting stuff on the screen? You got banners and stuff going on? How's this happening? And then I just kept getting better and better and better, learning more and more. But I'm a speaker. I'm a trainer. Speaking is natural to me. So it was just a different way to do it, and I absolutely love it.
So when you say you want to monetize it, like, what do you mean by that?
I mean, run ads. I mean, I've had people already. I mean, early on, I was barely doing this thing. I was 2 weeks in. They're like, how can I run an ad on your show? And I'm thinking, I don't know. I just push go live. I don't want to run an ad. What are you talking about?
I love how you're so honest. Like, I don't fucking, that's good stuff. That's good stuff.
Yeah, I literally.
So are you generating income right now from it?
I haven't yet.
Okay.
Pre-revenue, right? That's what they say on Shark Tank. We're pre-revenue. We're worth $10 billion.
I hate that.
But I have people who already are like, I want to do it. And so recently I had a friend of mine who came along and said, I want to be your producer. I'll help you put some things together. She went to Ohio Media School. Shout out to Duke's Multimedia, Amanda Dukes. She is going to help me do that because I need structure. Because I'm just me going live as far as that's what I'm doing. But people are watching it and they're like, this is an amazing thing. Everybody I talk to is like, this is crazy. And they're like, how do you get some of these guests? I mean, I have some pretty cool guests, and have some really cool guests coming up soon. Hopefully you guys will be my guests
That'd be
one
fun.
day soon.
That'd be fun.
That'd be really fun.
Talk about some of the guests you've had the past couple months.
Some of the guests I've had, some more local people, but people who have done some cool thing. Alec Simon.
Oh yeah, we had him on.
Okay, one of the Q Sticks, local guy, great guy, all love. You know, every time I see him, he's like, love you, brother, love you. And I'm like, this dude is super cool. His episode, real, raw, transparent. He talked about his friend who committed suicide when he was young, and that's why he got into teaching anti-bullying in schools and doing all the things that he does. And an amazing musician. Shout out to Alec, a great guy. He's been on the show. I had my friends Dan and Destiny Harsh, who they're triplets, played the baby in the Mr. Rogers movie, A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood with Tom Hanks. They got to hang out with Tom Hanks. But their triplets were the baby. You know, you can't only have so many hours like, you know, Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen on Full House. But you guys really like Full House, right?
Oh, yeah, baby.
Of course.
I feel like your intro had something to do with Full House. But anyway, so so their child was in that. I actually have someone coming up who was in the Black Panther movie who's going to be on the show. I have someone who is in a regular Tyler Perry show that's coming out called Sisters. She's going to be on the show. I have a lady named Nicole Walters who she quit her corporate job making a lot of money live on Periscope years ago and has built a multi-million-dollar business. She teaches a 1K one day program of how entrepreneurs can make $1,000 a day. Not gimmicky, it's work. It's real work, but I believe it will work if people put in the work. She's been on Good Morning America. She's been on a bunch of big shows. She's going to be on the show. Connections, LinkedIn. I've had doctors. I'm starting to have, I think people's publicists are starting to reach out to me. I'm like, who are you? They're like, so-and-so's doctor, so-and-so. He think he'd be great for your show. I'm like, how do you even know my show exists? It's only been here 2 months, and I'm not a known person, but it's been really cool.
This guy's a lot of energy, huh, Paul?
A lot of energy. I like it. You gotta have a lot of energy.
You know, he's hiring an associate of ours to make promotional material.
Which associate? The one in
The one overseas.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, he's doing great stuff.
Interesting.
He's already started. He's doing some great stuff. I'm not going to pay him, though. He doesn't know that yet. I'm like, these guys. No, I'm just kidding. He's doing great work. It's been good. I love it.
So, yeah, like, how do you I'm amazed you have this much fire after a major death in your family. And you have some kids, right?
Yeah.
Like, how was their relationship
Four
with
kids?
Yeah, 4 kids.
You said 4? I thought it was only 2. How are you doing all this? Talk to me about parenting and how close were they with your mom? I'm assuming pretty close.
Yeah, I mean, they were close with my mom, but it was harder. My kids, I have 4 kids. My 2 oldest live in Florida. No, not my 2 oldest. My oldest daughter lives in Florida. She went to college down there. My daughter, Ashanti, lives with her mom, who now lives in Florida. My son, Lucas II, who's now bigger than me, lives with me, and my daughter, Savannah. My wife, Corinne, and I have Savannah. And so, yes, they were close with my mom, but I there's nothing like losing a mom, right? Like, it's like grandma's gone. That's sad, right? They're really sad. Like, I can't believe it. And my kids often say, it's almost like it's not real. And that's what they've said. We're in the middle of a pandemic. We got a lot going on. So they're not in school. Their mind is all over the place. They're like, man, we didn't have a funeral, right? Because you can't gather. So for them, they're kind of in this, like, we just haven't gone over grandma's house in a while. Like, literally, they tell me that. They're like, I haven't wrapped my mind around it, and I don't know that they want to. For me, it's tough. And when you talk about the fire and the energy, I do it for her. I do it because I am who she raised. We laughed at everything. So my sense of humor is a little tilted. Like, don't fall or let something happen to you. My first thing is going to be laughter. My mom was in the hospital dying, making jokes, like literally. And so I do it to honor her. So that's where this energy comes from.
Do you think you would have done all this if she's still being alive?
Maybe someday, but not with the urgency that I'm doing it now, as though I realize life is like this. Life comes and goes. It's a snap. It's fast. You better do what you're supposed to do. You better live your life, live your dreams today. There are no rules. There's nobody who can stop me from Push and Go Live. And even if nobody watches it, I'm still doing it because it's something that I want to do. It's something that matters to me. And I know it's gonna impact somebody out there. So
how has it impacted you inside having all these amazing guests? And you said you're lined up for a couple months. Like, how's it made you feel?
I mean, I am absolutely honored. I don't think I've asked anybody who said no. And then to have people reaching out to me saying, can I come on your show? I mean, people, and then they come on my show and I'm this guy, right? But I'm the host, so I'm even crazier, right? And they're like, it was so much energy, and I've never been on a show like this before, and this was the best interview I've ever done. And I mean, they're just over and over, and there's all of this excitement around it. And it's just like, this is just who I am. I just didn't, maybe the world didn't know it. Some people knew it, but maybe the whole world. So where could this show go? Where could I go? I literally know the sky's the limit. I really believe I have a unique talent, and I feel very fortunate. I love it. I love what I do. I love it every day, and I want to find ways to be able to keep sitting here and doing it. That's why I talk about monetizing. It's like I got to find a way to where I don't get so far back out there in corporate training or whatever to where I'm traveling every day and I can't do this, right? So
what does your wife do?
my wife is an entrepreneur as well. She wrote her books. She makes clothing. She's a fashion designer. Fascinating. That's where her whole thing started. And she is working on she's writing multiple scripts, and she's going to make movies. Absolutely, she's going to do it. Super talented, has written some amazing scripts.
How long has been married?
We've been married 11 years. 11 years.
Oh, wow.
You ever want to say that right? You don't want to get that wrong on camera? Like 11 years. Yes, 11 years, 2009. Yes, 11 years. So
how old are you?
I'm 37. I'll be 38 this year.
Okay, so we were all in the same.
Yeah.
You graduated 2000?
Yep.
All right.
2000, Kent McKinley. Yep, absolutely.
So you guys must have played each other.
We did like a scrimmage one time with each other on the same field. So
we played our the state championship game that you guys lost
yes,
at McKinley Fawcett Stadium.
Yeah, that was nice, Paul. You were there?
I was there.
Thank you for your support.
He was there cheering you on.
Yeah, it was a close game.
The next year they won it.
So I always have some sort of like, I was there
Go
too.
on.
I always have some sort of like hesitations with LinkedIn. Like there's some unwritten rules. Like it's not as funny as a Facebook or a.
There's a joke amongst my friends that LinkedIn Paul is the best Paul. I call people out. I call out BS. I'm sitting there saying, don't put a bullshit story on here.
Pull up some of your last quote.
Well, I haven't done it in a while, but before, like, there was a statement where some guy was like, I came into the office to fire this guy. Then they told me they were homeless and their mom had just died. So I was like, oh, I'm not going to fire you. You just need a leg up in life. I'm the best boss ever. And I'm like, fake story. This
real.
is fake.
People say I'm the best boss. I have a cup here.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not allowed
At least
to
I
say
started
that.
watching that last night.
The Office?
I've seen all the episodes, but
Yeah.
Lisa's not. And she was like, wait, I thought Pam was married to Jim. I'm like, oh, Lise.
You're like season 1, episode 1.
Yeah. She's like, who's this Roy
Isn't
guy?
she adorable?
She's like, I thought they were engaged.
Yeah, so like I made some funny ass promos. First of all, with the way the world is now with the protesting and the craziness,
Right.
I feel like I can't be as funny as I'd like to be on
Oh,
social media.
go further.
You can be funny. I mean, I think my opinion is, one, there's serious stuff going on. There needs to be a voice to it. It impacts me, certainly. I have conversations with my son that I'm like, your average white male is not telling their son, be careful
Yep.
when you walk down the street. Be careful when you walk in the store. Be careful. I mean, this is his whole life, right? But
I have
even
that same
more so now.
conversation. My kids say that they're scared because they see some of the stuff on the news, and I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, yeah, you don't. You're like some privileged white kid who lives in a nice house. Like you don't even know what scared could possibly be,
Sure.
So.
But I think there's room for comic relief. There's room for, because humans are humans. We don't cease to need, and people are being traumatized by revisiting this. And I'm not saying it needs to stop, and I'm not saying the awareness needs to stop. I'm just saying it's not wrong if I scroll past something funny. Now, I might not like it because I might think it's too soon, or they might think that I think something,
Yeah.
but I'm laughing, right?
Do you know how
still
soon
enjoying it.
is too soon?
Nobody knows how soon is too soon.
Never.
Comedians
Never.
jump right into it.
Never.
They're talking about
By the way,
it today.
some comedians will stop.
Yeah.
Will stop, but there's never such a thing as too soon, in my opinion. Never. Because if we, what's my always comment? My comment's always, if we can't joke about everything, we can joke about nothing. And I know it's black and white, but if you can't joke about every single thing out there at every single second, then we can't joke about anything.
Yeah, so I was hesitant. I had what I was really proud of, a funny sort of promo for Paul and I thought, is this LinkedIn material? And I was like, no, I put the brakes on, Paul.
What was it?
The Dumb and Dumber poster.
Oh, really?
I mean,
Who's on people? Just like, okay, everybody on LinkedIn is on Facebook. Everybody on Facebook, well, a lot of them are on LinkedIn. These are just regular people. They can act all.
By the
buttoned
way,
up.
they write stupid shit on LinkedIn all the time.
like I was going to share this on LinkedIn.
You absolutely should.
Yeah, it's
we
stupid.
need that, and it
It's
looks
stupid.
amazing.
You know what else people share on LinkedIn?
Go on.
They share the stupidest thing. Like LinkedIn, it's funny to me how much LinkedIn works because of how I perceive LinkedIn to be so fake. Like I literally look at LinkedIn going, oh my God, it works so well for getting business, but every single person's on there going, how much can I pat myself on the back? Like that's the thing about LinkedIn that drives me nuts. I mean, it's everybody on there like, oh, another satisfied 5-star review from my client. I'm like, okay, sounds good. Humble brag. Here we go. You need to put that on there. That's why I do things like, one of my connections, there are a lot of foreign people, wrote some huge blurb in Korean. And all I wrote at the bottom was, I agree. And I got so many texts from people like, dude, because you know how LinkedIn works.
Right.
The second I comment,
everybody sees
all my followers see it. So I got people like texting me going, dude, that was so funny. And all I wrote was, I agree. It could have very well been some jihadist in Korea writing about how he's going to
come blow us Korean.
I don't know, but I'm just sitting there saying all I wrote was, I agree. And I thought it was funny. And I do it so nonchalantly. And all my friends are like, dude, you just write these things and you don't even
Do you feel, so listen, I feel like, it's funny. I feel like I'm sitting at polar opposites. Like you have very little to lose, so you don't give a shit at times.
Maybe.
And
fair statement.
And the sky
have everything.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Wait, what do I not have to lose? I have a lot to lose.
Well, you at this point you don't care. I mean, you seem like you don't care what you say.
I feel bad for my brother and Andrew and Chris and Mary when I say things. But I'm just like, oh my God, you guys are so stupid on here. Just stop being this. Like I said about the emails, I'm not asking them to know my entire background. But if you think I'm a realtor, you're an idiot.
Right.
You know what I mean? You just literally did nothing but copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste. And there was a place for copy and paste.
Yeah.
If you want to go sell a DGF, hey, I'm Seth. I own a company called DGF. We do this. I know your company would sell a product like this, or they have. That's different. That's a different copy and paste, which I can respect. But to say, Paul, I saw I can get you tons of real estate leads so you can sell houses. I'm like, I don't sell houses. In fact, I hate realtors. Why would you write this to me? It's just like, if you looked at one of our videos, you would know how I feel about these things. Yeah. So that's my thing. But LinkedIn, there's never such a thing as too soon, ever. Yeah. Ever.
I think it's still, this is one person's opinion, but I think LinkedIn is still so sort of untapped of maybe its possibilities, right? I mean, Facebook is kind of like our parents' sort of platform. And I can't even keep up with is Instagram already slowing down with this TikTok? Although they all serve different purposes.
Yeah, Instagram's huge. TikTok is maddening. I mean, it is the most.
What is the deal
thing.
with TikTok?
Isn't it just Vine?
I don't know, but
how is it different from Vine?
It is. It's similar to Vine. Short videos you can post. The crazy part is it was Musical.ly for so long and nobody cared. It was like nobody paid any attention.
Oh, it was Musical.ly and they changed it?
Yes. I'm like, it was the same thing. Gary Vee was talking about it a long time ago. Like, I'm watching kids on the subway playing Musical.ly. You guys pay attention. Nobody was paying attention. Now it's huge. And everything, wherever there's attention, as Gary Vee talks about, you can monetize. You can put your business stuff on there, and people are starting to do it. These kids are zombies. And I'm not going to lie. I've gotten on TikTok, and it's just like one thing after another, after another, after. Then you're seeing celebrities, and, it looks so raw. They're just in there trying to dance or trying to do something funny or acting out a scene. I don't know, but it's going to be... I think TikTok's going to be around for a long time.
Do you really?
I assume you haven't scrolled through TikTok.
I don't. I do not have a TikTok account.
There's nothing like it because Instagram and Facebook are so similar. Snapchat was so similar. Instagram was able to almost overtake Snapchat.
I thought Instagram was broken today because it was all just black pages, and I was like, oh, now I see what's going on. Got it. Got it.
Yes.
Noted.
Right.
Was that too soon, Seth?
I think it's right on time.
I mean, literally, I was just like, is my Instagram broken? I'm like, oh, noted.
I did think that too, actually. So you're not doing TikTok? Are you doing TikTok at all?
Just a little bit, but I keep telling my son, my son wants to learn how to cut hair because he wants to have a hustle in college when he goes to college. But I'm like, learn to cut videos. Forget cutting hair.
Oh yeah,
cut videos. That's where the money's at, and that will translate into a bigger career. He doesn't want to be a barber. I have friends that are barbers that are great, that love it, and that's awesome, but he doesn't want to do it. He wants to do it for a hustle. I'm like, well, then do something that's going to be more lasting. So I also tell him,
yeah, that's a good advice.
Yeah, you know how to use TikTok. Help me do TikTok, and it doesn't even have to be dancing. It can be a promo. It can be
is that
anything.
what TikTok was about? Was dancing?
It's mostly, and not now. Right now, it's like social justice. It's mad. Now it's tons of stuff about what's going on, which I don't know whether that's good or bad, except I know my kids are possibly getting a little bit of trauma because they're constantly looking at what's happening in the news, and it's a little too much, I think. But nonetheless, normally it's people singing to songs or dancing to different things, and there's a lot of different stuff going on there, but mostly that. And that doesn't happen on Facebook, really. People are sharing their TikToks on Facebook and Instagram.
Oh,
that's how you know
Facebook.
You're different. So they're sharing it there.
Let me
all
shift.
the Karens of the world on Facebook.
Let me shift gears a bit. Paul is a bit of, you can see that Paul is a bit of a, how would I say this politely?
What a dick.
Paul has noticed
Yes.
when people say that I'm a motivator, an inspiration, or an entrepreneur, there's a lot of that going around.
Absolutely.
So
I love when I see on Instagram when I'm creeping on women on Instagram and it says CEO. I'm like, you're not a fucking CEO. Stop saying that. Just stop saying you're a CEO because you're not a CEO.
my son asked me, "Are you the CEO of DGF?" I was like, "Well, there's 3 of us, and one of us is
Somebody's going to be something.
Worst case scenario, I'm executive vice president, so that's pretty impressive.
At least third high.
yeah." So I mean, but how do you separate the bullshit from the buckwheat? I'm saying that slogan. You ever heard that before?
No.
How do you separate the bullshit from the buckwheat? I mean, like in the world of everyone's now a coach,
Right? Everybody's
how do
not
you, right, Paul? I mean, when you hear entrepreneur and coach, do you think bullshit first?
Yes, I think bullshit first. Not that I'm saying you're saying that. I'm just saying like when I see it on Instagram and stuff like that, I go, listen, if you're a model on Instagram, you get paid, more power to you. But don't call yourself an entrepreneur. That's not entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship isn't, oh, I'm very attractive and I get paid to put ads up. That's not entrepreneurship. More power to you. But just like the corporate guys who say to me, I'm a businessman. No, you're not. You're not a businessman because your check gets cut and your bonus happens to you, whether your company makes money or loses money, you're not a businessman. You know what I mean?
I like that.
Right? If you have an unlimited budget, I just look at it going, that is not an entrepreneur. That's not a business person. To me, an entrepreneur is this like, it's almost like a risk thing. And it's hard because you sit there and say like, what makes it an entrepreneur? I don't know exactly, but it's kind of like the old adage of I know it when I see it. I don't want to say the exact analogy, but I just get sick of it. And that's what the issue was for a lot of this podcast was that the self-promotion. I was like, it's so fake and phony. How many real estate experts out there were like renting Lambos and driving down the street? I mean, you see it on LinkedIn, don't you?
Absolutely.
These guys are like I know a guy who runs a family office group. He rents Rolls Royces and he drives around in Ferraris. And I'm like, dude, the guy calls us every week asking for money for us to go, I'm just like, why are you doing that when you have a $500,000 car? It's a rented car. You know what I mean? It's not real.
I bring it up because, Paul really despises realtors in general. And so I had a connection on Facebook, and and this person was a stay-at-home parent.
I hate fraud.
This person was a stay-at-home parent for the past 6-7 years. And he or she just,
about to start spelling out her name. She, S-A-R.
She just,
wait a minute.
She just like posts like, okay, time for my next phase in life. I'm a realtor. Call me for your next home deal. And I'm like, oh my God, if Paul saw this, like.
By the way, what's my issue with realtors? It's like my issue with everything. It's the fraud. I'm a real estate expert. No. You're a salesman. More power to you. Be the best salesman you can be. Go out there, sell the shit out of everything, but don't try to tell me you understand investing in real estate. Please stop. You understand sales. And understanding sales is so effing important. It is the most important thing in every business.
Every business. Absolutely.
I'm a finance guy. If you told me, would you rather have a brilliant accountant or a brilliant salesperson? Give me the brilliant salesperson all day.
We'll figure out the money on the
I'll
back
get 100%. I'll get a monkey to do that. Doesn't matter.
We'll get it. Right.
I can't get a monkey to sell.
Right.
But don't be something you're not. Yep. That's my big thing.
So how do you, if people have this stigma about the terms, the coach, the entrepreneur, how do you fight past that and prove your...
Or are most people not as cynical as me?
Yeah. 2 things. 1, most people aren't as cynical. And here's the funny part. So that's a true statement. Most people aren't as cynical, but everybody has a customer. Everybody has a tribe. There's somebody who will buy into BS, right? There's somebody who's faking it, and yet somebody believes in it. And then there's somebody who they trip and fall and actually help, because if it was just their confidence about what they do.
You're 100% right.
And they're like, yeah, because I decided to, take off a little more clothes and pose on Instagram, and then people started liking it, and I was confident enough to do it, and somebody else was scared, and they did it, and they got money, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But I think everybody has a tribe again, and everybody's not your customer, but that means there's somebody else's customer, and maybe the other person really likes them for some reason. So for me, I don't worry about getting past the stigma. I like personally, I do know what I bring to the table. I know I'm genuine. I know I care. I know I'm going to go above and beyond. I know you're going to see it. I'm like, give me a chance. That's all I think all the time. I'm like, give me a chance. Like, I will blow you away because I'm going to work hard. I'm going to bring energy.
But what you said there was important, genuine. And I don't criticize the model at all. I do not. I'm just sitting there saying, don't call yourself an entrepreneur.
That's fair. That's really fair.
I'm the CEO of Susie.
Body Inc.
But yeah, exactly.
Right.
Susie's body. It's like, okay.
Yeah,
like,
right.
You're not Kim Kardashian.
Right.
Let's pump the brakes. If you want to be Kim Kardashian, more power to you.
Right.
And maybe that's part of the reason why I don't do well in the whole self-promotion, because I don't believe that. But if you're genuine, it'll lead to other things. Like I'm sitting there thinking to myself, like, this guy could very well have like one of the biggest shows in 2 years. And we just go, yeah, he was on our show like really early on. And he's just like, okay, this is awesome. Like, good for him. Look at the guy we wanted last year. The guy who wanted me on a show last year. I didn't go on it. He had 12,000 YouTube subscribers. Now he has 380,000 YouTube subscribers. And I'm just like, damn. Yeah. Well, but you know why though? I didn't say it wasn't that. It was his show wasn't directed to the same people, the same philosophy that I have.
Yes.
It was a mismatch on that one.
Right.
And that's the reason why I said no. I mean, if you asked me today again, I'd be like, come on our show. I'm not going to go because I don't think your audience would want to hear what I have to say.
Right.
In my opinion.
Sure.
I think what he does is great. Like his videos, I'm like, hey, more power to him. He fits that audience. Like you said, everybody has their tribe. Everybody has their
customer.
Thank you.
Yes.
Whatever you were saying. But I look at that saying and I like the fact that you talk about being genuine. That's what I want to see. Genuine.
Yep. And so for me, I know I can win because I'm genuine. And even when I don't, I know that I was sincere with my LinkedIn pitch to you to say, hey, I'd like to connect. I checked out something about you. I did notice that you went to this university. If nothing else, I took a few more minutes than the next person to say.
Than me.
Yeah. Then what's up there? Absolutely. So it works eventually. And I know there's enough people, there's enough money, there's enough out there. There's enough people hungry for somebody who is serious and real and cares and wants to do something different. And I think that's why my show has been successful. People are like, man, you have all that energy and you really do care about what you're talking about. And you're passionate about stuff. And it's like, yeah, I am. Or I wouldn't be talking about it. Like, absolutely. So it works, I think, at the end of the day.
So what's the, do you set goals on a monthly basis, number of views, or you just like roll with it?
Considering I just pushed go live 2 months ago and had no idea what was about to happen, I'm not yet. No, I was thinking about this because we're talking about people wanting to run ads, right? And they're like, well, how many views do you get? You asked that question, right? I'm like, I've been a one-man band for the last 2 months on something that's moved so much faster than I could have imagined. I can't even keep up. I can't even keep up with the emails of people who are now reaching out wanting to be on the show, or the people on LinkedIn who are reaching out saying, hey, I saw you. I think I'd be a good fit to be on your show. Or people are starting to tell me you should charge some people to come on your show because clearly they want to come on because they can see the quality video content that they're going to have when this show is over that they can then use to promote their stuff. That's why they want to come on your show. It's like, I can't even keep up with all of it. I'm fortunate now. Get Amanda Dukes, Lynette Beatty, a couple of great people have stepped up to help me out. I have a great group of friends as well who've been supporting me. But as I pull those pieces together in the next few months, watch out. Who knows where Lucas Live is going to go? Everybody check it out.
Holy shit.
Who knows?
I dated a girl who went to Duke, whose name was Amanda, and I always put her on my phone as Amanda Duke. So when you said Amanda Duke, I'm like, oh my God, is it her? I'm like, no, that wasn't her last name. And in fact, I can't even remember her last name now because I'm sitting there going
she's not listening.
Yeah, she's probably not.
Okay.
The whole point though, I was just like, oh my God, I wonder if it's the same. Like, no, that's not her.
Nope.
How can people find you and connect?
People can find me at Lucas Tindell on.
Spell your last name?
Yeah, spell that.
Tindell at Lucas, Lucas, Tindell at Lucas Tindell, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Hit
How many
the
subscribers do you have?
notification. I went from 70 when I started to 240. It's not a lot, but that's a big jump.
No, that's a good jump.
That's a big jump in 2 months.
No
I had
advertising
70.
or nothing.
No advertising or anything. Just
I'm
jump that
pretty
much.
impressed. That's good.
So,
Remember us when you're interviewing Chris Rock. And Dave Chappelle.
He's coming. I can get to anybody. I'm telling you. It's
That's a great mindset
crazy.
to have.
So here's somebody who didn't do his homework. I just got a LinkedIn request. I won't mention the company, but this company, if this guy did half a second of research, would have known that we're competitors to them, and we sued them at one point. I will accept, and I can't wait for him to pitch me.
Right.
And then I'll tell him, go to your boss and ask him who I am,
Right.
and let me know if
If
you
he
still
wants
want
to
to
do
connect with me
Right.
later on.
Right.
Wow.
Hilarious.
That is funny, Paul.
Yeah, that's what
Mid
I gotta
do their
podcast.
homework.
Let's get him on the podcast.
Bring him on.
All right, Lucas, I can't thank you enough for coming up. You are a ball of energy. You have
You
inspired
are.
me,
Thank you,
and
guys.
I can't wait to follow you. We'd love to be on the show at some point. That would
Love
be
to
fun,
have you
Paul.
guys.
Yeah.
And I honestly think this is an untapped resource that maybe, your smartboard demonstrations about stock analysis might be a LinkedIn thing more than a YouTube. I don't even know. We could do both.
We can do both.
That would be huge. I absolutely, and gentlemen, I'd love to help you guys get on
see?
LinkedIn Live. I mean, why not have one of these cameras shooting it and people?
Because I'm terrible about it.
You're great, at
Lucas,
it.
I'm just terrible
You're-
about it.
That's the wrong mindset. See, I don't think
No,
that.
no. In the sense of I'm good when we're in front of when Seth's there.
Yeah.
and he's asking me questions,
Yeah.
I'm me.
Well, then do it.
See, he
do it
can't-
that way.
Yeah, what we're trying to do is he can't do, and it's not a fault. He just
No,
can't
it's a
do what
fault.
you,
I mean,
what
right.
you do. It's just
May just seem all like
I can't look
at
at a camera and say, hey.
You don't even have to do that. Nobody cares, though.
Yeah, you're really
Nobody
good at
cares.
it, though.
Again, be you. It's genuine, and people will see
with
it,
me,
right?
being me is,
being an asshole. I'm too soon, Paul.
he's right though.
Hey, it's never too soon to call out the truth.
So 38 years is too soon? No.
Maybe.
No.
I love talking about investments. I like doing thorough analysis.
Yes.
I like doing on that whiteboard we have, that big whiteboard digital one. That's what I do very well. But for me to be like, hey guys, today I'm going to talk about what should you pay for Microsoft.
But don't do it. Nobody cares.
I know, we're not going to do it. We're going to have Seth go.
But no, all I'm saying is all they want is the content. You have a
I agree with
tribe.
you.
There's a million people who are sick of the, hi guys, we're going to do. They just want somebody to be like, let's get to the nitty gritty. Let me dig in here.
I love
Look at
this.
this board.
Well,
you know how
and-
stupid
but,
that
that's
is?
what I
the thing
do.
is, Seth is so good about talking to the camera and just being like, all right, guys, here we are. We're doing this. Then it's me, and I'm just like, hi,
Hi, kids.
I'm Paul. Exactly. Line.
That is funny. We'll have you do the promo for this podcast, Paul. It'd be great. All right, Lucas, thank you for joining us. Follow Lucas Tindell on LinkedIn, on all the avenues.
Facebook, YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. At
Yeah,
Lucas
subscribe,
Tindell.
guys.
And
After you
subscribe
to
below.
ours.
Yes,
Okay, right,
subscribe
there's-
below. Yes,
Yes.
to the Learn From Us channel, which Paul wants to rebrand.
I think it was more to the left of
What do you
you.
want to rebrand to, Paul?
Weird.
So, do you want to have this conversation right now? Maybe we can get Lucas's advice
Let's
on this
do
one.
it. I love business.
Go on.
Let's
So
go.
we created. So years ago, I go to my high school and I teach every year business and investing for the last 6, 7, 8 years.
Super cool.
Whatever.
I love
Anyhow,
it.
I appreciate that.
Yes.
I like teaching. To me, it's like I like learning. I'm obsessed with learning. Like even Mary yesterday said, like, yeah, you've taken it to a whole extreme. Like I'm obsessed with. I spend the majority of my day reading and understand. So we thought to ourselves, we wanted to create this like masterclass thing where it was like a bunch of people teaching. So it was learned from us. Like we bring in a photographer, we bring in a doctor, we bring in a lawyer.
Yeah.
But our conversations really gravitate around money all the time because that's what I'm into.
Sure.
So this Learn From Us name, I keep going back and forth going, it's not really saying what we do anymore because we're not bringing in, I don't really have an interest now of bringing in
Thought leaders in every
category. I want to really just talk about investing and money because I really do think there's a lot of misinformation out there on investing and money and personal finance and I want to buy Tesla. Why do I want to buy? By the way, my analysis of Tesla actually has it worth less than $0. It's actually a negative worth company right now.
We'll do it later.
But either way, the whole point is, yeah, look at your face.
Yeah, because I mean,
You
read
can't
the
even imagine
newspaper.
that.
No
you
way.
can't even imagine that. And I sit there and say, I wouldn't even pay $0 for the like if they said to me, Paul, here's a share for $1, pass.
Wow.
Like if, in the sense of I'm not allowed to sell it for a long but there's a reasons for that. Does that mean I'm right? Absolutely not. I've been wrong so many times, but from my methods. So now I'm thinking to myself, I came up with the name of Everything Money Podcast, so the Everything Money channel. Like we're going to talk about everything having to do with money, whether it's taxes, whether it's government, whether it's personal finance, whether it's business, whether it's all these things. And we put out competition to a lot of our listeners and say, give us the names. Give us 3 names. We're going to give $250 to whoever comes up with the name that we pick. But the whole thing is I want it to be focused on money because every single person I teach, every single person I talk to who's older, my girlfriend, she's a little bit older than me. You know what she always says to me? God, I wish they taught us this in high school.
Yes.
And everybody says that, but in the going joke on Instagram was like, well, I'm really glad I learned trigonometry during tax season or something like that. Whatever the thing is.
Right. Nonsense.
We don't teach these things. And I'm not, I used to think, no, I'm right. And now I realize there's multiple ways to skin a cat. And I look at it saying, this is my philosophy. I could be, you were shocked when I said Tesla's worth 0, less than 0. You're like, what? I'm like, yeah, I think it's worth less than 0. And if you understand my philosophy, you go, okay, I can see why Paul says that, but I don't believe it because great, more power to you.
But I would watch that video.
Yeah, you'd watch the video.
watched
By
the
way,
video.
our most popular videos, we talk about Tesla because it's such a hot topic right now.
Yes.
Things like that where
Is SpaceX worth money? I mean,
probably not. They're not publicly traded, so I can't see their financials.
because they just went, I mean,
Which is, by the way, super impressive.
Yeah.
I love that.
Okay.
And I'm not saying what Tesla is doing isn't incredible, but I'm sitting there saying from a business standpoint, they're allergic to making money. It's like, oh, there's money. Let's go that way over there. I mean,
Spend it over here.
so these are things like that.
Immediately.
So that's why I want to change the name of the name I came up. I literally said off the cuff to Seth was like, let's call it like the Everything Money Podcast. And then I told Don about it. He's like, I actually like that idea.
I kind of like that too.
If that is open and available,
Yes, that's my
On
It's amazing.
I think on YouTube it is.
yeah.
On .com, it's not available. But we don't really need a
okay. You don't
website.
need that,
We
no.
don't need the website or anything like that. But I just look. So my big goal here, the great thing about teaching is when you put it out, you get it back, right?
Right.
I want to get real estate deals. I want to get stock ideas. I want it that we grow this so that people call me and go, Paul, I listen to your philosophy. Why don't you check out this company? We have a group chat where all my boys, all the young guys, and they're always like, hey, Paul, what about this? So I banned them from saying, just give me a stock name. Give me the stock name and why you think it's a good idea. And then I'll go further. But a real estate deal, I'd love for somebody in Wichita, Kansas, or call me up and be like, Paul, a friend of mine has 140 units and they hate being a real estate manager. Is that something you'd be interested in? Yeah, let's fucking talk.
Wow.
That's what I'm trying to get to.
Right.
I can teach and at the same time make money myself. One of our previous guests called me 2 weeks ago and said, Paul, I think I need a partner. Great, let's talk. Like, I'm trying to invest money.
Right.
That's what I want to get to. So I'm open to ideas on the name.
Well, we better get that. We better get that YouTube page before we release this podcast. So.
I think you got to talk to
Uncle Don.
Well, we sent an email to everybody saying, give us your ideas. So I'm open ideas. $250. If you come up with a name and we use, I'll give you $250, whatever it is.
I got names all day.
We'll talk about them.
I love it. I think the Everything Money podcast, if that's what it becomes called, if
Channel,
you end up,
the Everything Money
the
channel.
Everything Money
YouTube channel.
the Everything Money something
Podcast, everything.
I think it's excellent, and I think the voting for it is really cool because like John Maxwell in his book The 360 Degree Leader said he never named any of his books. He said because his philosophy was let the best idea win, always. So I always thought about that in my life. I'm like, let the best idea win. Don't be so tied to my idea that if it's not, that it's not going to work. So I think you put it out there. You mention some of these things. Somebody's going to come up with something. But at the end of the day, what the heck is Google? What the heck is Apple? I mean, we know what Apple is, but we didn't know what it was. So really, at the end of the day, the name may not be
Google
the perfect
is misspelled,
name.
actually. Did you know
Fascinating.
that?
No.
You didn't know that?
No.
Google
is
is not spelled Google. I think it's Google
EL?
or OL. It's not spelled that way.
I'll be darned.
And it's a one with 100
Speaking
zeros behind
of,
it.
Lucas
That's
Live
okay.
is a badass name, bro. You know that.
Hey, it
It's
flowed.
working.
It flowed.
It's flowing.
I didn't know what it was called. So my show started. I was like, I don't know what this is going to be called. People started throwing names out there. I was like, Lucas Tindell Live. I was like, I need people to know my name. Oprah Winfrey was Oprah Winfrey before she was Oprah and then right? So I'm like, I need to make sure they know my full name. There's a lot of Lucases out there. People are like, Lucas Live. Like it just flows too
we're
well.
Lucas Live
So,
just a boom, 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 done.
Yep.
Lucas Live.
Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you guys.
Follow us on YouTube, on the podcast outlets. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Thanks, guys.